Good morning, welcome to a new video. We are not off to the grandest start ever. In fact, I'm quite annoyed already. We keep getting plugged up and it's starting to get real frustrating. Looks like I hit a molehill here. But there is, the knife is a bit shorter, that's why. So I'm gonna have to change that if it keeps being a problem, but I was having a little line here. If you guys, you should be able to see that. That kind of just gets left behind because that knife can't reach it anymore. And then because of that, we get plug ups because this grass it's just a pain to deal with because it's not stocky, it's wet and kind of gummy on the knives, and it doesn't take a whole lot to build up, especially if there's molehills, which there are, for it to plug up on the swather, which means I constantly have to stop and clean the header. So we'll see. I'm trying to gauge where the most alfalfa is on this grass piece. This is actually part of a field that my husband and I own 40 acres of. So yeah, we're trying to get this all cut and nice and neat, but it's kind of difficult. Because to the south there is a lot more grass, and I tried cutting there already too. So there's maybe going to be a couple of trial swaths going out into this field until I can make something work. Not a great start. Alright, we're a couple hours later. I decided to just cut the piece that has only alfalfa on it instead of the grass because it was getting really annoying with the morning dew plugging up the header with the gammy grass. So decided to just do this stuff first, and then hopefully as the day goes on the dew will dry off, and then hopefully it'll be easier to cut. This is not the right header to cut grass with, I know. This is a draper header. This is for like big standing crops. Typically for grass like that you use a haybine header, but we need as much crop to go into one swath at once because we have the John Deere chopper now. So it's in our best interest and a lot of a time saver if we just get a bigger swath right off the start. So that's why we're using the draper header instead of the haybine header. Good girl. For anyone concerned, I always pick her up, put her in the cab, and then when I want to take her out, I pick her up and I put her on the ground. There's no steps for this doggy because she can get her paws or toes stuck in the steps or on that platform there. So it's a little lift for me every time we go in and out of the swather. Right, so we're done in this field. I got about 110 acres down. Did not end up cutting that grass just because it just doesn't work with this header. So we're gonna grab the haybine and just gonna cut that all down at a future date and hay it, which is what we did last year. That grass is just so wispy and thin. It that's the plan for that. This field is a lot more sparse than the first field, unfortunately. Still good, but there was a lot of foxtail, which is like my least favorite plant in the world, just because it wreaks so much havoc if you don't catch it in time, and this foxtail was fully headed out. So it's bad because it's got like these rough heads, or awns, I guess you would say, like the wispy hairs, and going one way it moves super slowly, and then the other way it's super rough. So if you try to pull it out, it catches and basically just doesn't come out after it's kind of like wiggled its way into something like clothes or hair, what have you. And it even burrows through the skin, so animals like goats and cows and horses, they can get abscesses if they eat foxtail, and they can get like these nasty abscesses that can cause a lot of problems, especially if they, you know, get the abscess in an airway or in their throat or in their mouth. And it's also quite dangerous for any animal, but like very much so dogs, because if you inhale it, it can cause lung problems. Like you can have a very, very, very expensive vet bill if you allow your dog to run through foxtail. And you know, if the dog or even a horse or a goat, whatever, when they're grazing, if they inhale that stuff. So it's really bad. It's a bad plant all the way around, and it's like my least favorite plant in the world. I hate that stuff. So there was a lot of that in this field, unfortunately. All right, we are back at the yard. She is all tanked up. We just gotta grease and blow out the rads and check the oil and then be on our way again for opening up the next field. I'm putting this away because it was a gift from my mom, and I really like this hat, so I want it to stay nice. Okay, this is probably one of the most pain in the butt parts of this. And it's because I'm at such an odd angle to put this on. I usually grab a ladder, but we're gonna see if we can just... back in there. Okay. Hey, I did it. Nice. Done. Ready to do the next rounds. All right, dropped off Rookie at home right away just because she does not have to come along for throwing tires on the pit. And I changed into some tire throwing attire and we're gonna have to see if there's any tires left to throw. So Hopefully there is, and otherwise I will just get to show you guys everything that has been put into one great big pile today. All right, so I did miss putting on tires on the pit today, but this is what it's looking like. Pretty fair pile. Nice. We will be finishing that and covering the rest of it tomorrow. Oh, look at that sunset. Beautiful. Well, I had to go in and feed the horses, but everything is done now. 9:15. Gonna go home and go to sleep and do all of it all over again tomorrow. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like and subscribe and share it with a friend, and I will see you all back in the swather in the next one. Bye. They're normally quiet this time of night. It's 10 o'clock. What's going on here? Did you switch pens? How did you do that? Come here. You don't belong in here. Yeah, that's exactly why. So that's her, and her mom is that goat, and somehow she got into that curl over there, so interesting. I was done checking for the night, but when you step out on your patio and you hear a baby goat crying, you come and triple check.